I joined in 1993. I stayed in for 3 years Army Infantry, re-enlisted, stayed in for another 3 years, almost 7, got out, came back to the States. And then September 11th happened, and I re-enlisted the next day. I went back into the infantry, except this time I joined the Oregon National Guard. I went to Iraq, got hurt pretty bad. We lost 4 people.
I had half the sentence out of my mouth when the car exploded 5 feet away from me. I was knocked unconscious instantly. I opened my eyes and saw solid blue sky above me. Under my tattered sleeve was a compound fracture, torn muscle, ripped tendon, jagged bone, and all that blood spurting from a 4-inch gash turning my sleeve dark red. I could see it leaking from between each layer of pink muscle. The deeper the wound, the darker the red. I was sure I'd lost my right hand at the wrist. In my mind, I knew the doctors would amputate. Baldwin dragged my dead weight out through the driver's side so I wouldn't get burned up in the fire. But there we sat in the midst of the flaming wreckage. The intense amount of emotion that flows through his writing is the exact same kind of emotion that you really want to feel when you're portraying these guys. But the similarity between Adam's experience, the character of Adam, and what happened to Sean in Iraq is eerie. And I know they're not related. But it really is kind of unsettling how similar their stories are. So when you playing these guys, you really have to channel that energy, and it's not something that anybody in my position ever takes lightly. It's an emotional journey, and it hurts, and it's painful, and it's only a fraction, a minuscule fraction of what these guys actually have to deal with.
I became the Veteran Services Coordinator for this opera. And the main role, he reads my book, and he's trying to talk to me to get motivation, and I said, I'll do better than that. Here are my boots. These are the boots that I was wearing in Iraq when I got hit, man. And so you can walk in my shoes physically and metaphorically.
Which hit me like a ton of bricks. And so I go to the costume fitting, and it's just this weird dichotomy of worlds, right? Because I'm here, I'm like, I'm talking about this guy who's been blown up and, you know, seen his friends.
I let him use my dog tags that I had on too, you know, and it meant a lot to him.
I put my hand in the boots to put my insoles in them, and there's sand in the boots. And he had to replace the laces because they cut them off of him, had to work on him after his injury. So there's sand from Iraq in these boots that I'm wearing, playing a soldier from Iraq, while I'm wearing the uniform from another soldier from Iraq. This isn't Army surplus stuff that we just got off the rack, man.
Felt like finally somebody gets what I'm trying to say. You know, he got it. He definitely got it. Civilians do have an interest in what we did over there. You can see it now. I mean, everybody. I think they really do. They want to know what's happening. And Michael did it realistically. He really did. And him being a civilian was really difficult for him, you know. He puts himself in that role. I saw him coming off stage. He just collapses, you know. He's just feeling, and I can tell. Like I felt that way, man. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're doing.
And when I'm laying on the stage, you know, after having just told my wife for the first time about what happened to the character of Adam in Afghanistan, you know, the 8 vets that we have involved in the project all surround us in this sort of healing ritual. But right, the last thing I say in the aria when I'm telling her is, why them and not me? Why them and not? And that's one of the things that is a really recurring theme in Sean's book as well. And the way we staged it is that when I look up into Sean's eyes, and I'm asking Sean that question. And Sean plays the character of Sergeant Bryant, who was Adam's best friend. It's very real in that moment.
He did an amazing job. And to see a civilian get it like that, it was nice. It was a good thing to see for me. And not only that, but the people in the audience coming up afterwards. Because it was really difficult for me to be up there on stage playing a ghost of a soldier when I know that I survived. What they're talking about on stage, the Humvee blowing up in an ambush, I mean, that was me. It was hard because I'm seeing myself struggle through him on stage. And those memories just don't go away. You know, they're still there all the time. It was difficult but rewarding. You know, I'm glad. I mean, it was a good project because I think a lot of the civilians that really cared went to see it. They're like, I get it now. I get it now.